What is up, YouTube? This is World War Black Ops Pro, and today I want to make a video about the new map pack, Eisendrache, the new zombies map, that is, because, you know, I don't play multiplayer, especially these days. We got maps like Splash, which takes place at a water park, for goodness sake. Like, is this a war, or are we on vacation? Like, I have no idea anymore, so I don't even bother with multiplayer, in case you guys can't tell. So, we're playing zombies here, but before I get more into the zombies, I want to thank you guys for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. I've reached it a few weeks ago, but I've been really busy with real life stuff, so I haven't been able to upload. I hope to be able to upload more, and also, you know, since Eisendrache is not actually a half bad map, I might actually upload some more, so we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, so Eisendrache, so I got this map a couple weeks ago, and you know, at first I thought it was just an okay map, but then I actually got to play it, and it is actually better than I thought. Okay, but not only can you camp it, but there's more innovative features than I thought, because you know, they added stuff back that kind of annoys me, like the Panzer sold at, which I don't like the Panzer, because the Panzer is just basically an armored zombie, and it actually makes me have to run around instead of just sitting in one corner the whole game. So as a camper, I can't deal with that. I don't want to deal with it. So you know, anything that forces me to play differently, it's just BS. Like in Treyarch, yeah, sure, they add good bosses, zombies sometimes, but they also have a tendency to overdo it. Like in Shadows of Evil, they overdid the Margwa way too much. You had a Margwa spawning like every other round practically. Sometimes you had more than one if you're playing multiple people, and you had one after every ritual, which made getting to Pack-a-Punch somewhat hard, somewhat difficult. And you had to do that every single time you want to Pack-a-Punch, so you know, every single game you had to redo all the rituals, no matter what, and if you want to Pack-a-Punch, which got really repetitive the more and more I played that map. So, you know, yeah, at first the rituals seemed like a good idea. I mean, on paper it seemed like a good idea, but after doing it a few times, you get bored of it, and then you're just walking in circles just to avoid the flying zombies or whatever. I don't even know what to call them. They just look like ghost zombies. They just fly around, and they're like orange, red color with like black hoods on and stuff. Yeah, I mean that kind of gets it repetitive, but this map I actually like this map. See, Black Ops 3 Zombies so far, like before this map, was just, I thought it was okay, because you know, Shadows of Evil, I liked the setting, but the problem was that the guns really didn't match the setting so much, and the guns don't match the setting for this map, but the setting's really interesting. We haven't had a castle map yet, and this map has a really great camping spot, which you'll probably see in the gameplay later on here, where it's actually in the spawn room. So if you don't open up the other door in the spawn room, you can camp up there near quick revive, and zombies only come from one direction. And the only problem with that is when the Panzer Soldat comes at like round 12, he can't kick you out of there. But they came up with these great things called the Ragnaroks. What the Ragnaroks do is they're like gravity spikes, but you can't just use all of them only as gravity spikes. Like, that's not how I use them. What I do is I put them on the ground, and then when that Panzer guy comes to your spot to piss on your day, you just place him on the ground, and he gets trapped in an electrical field, which means that you're free to camp in your spot, and he's just trapped there, and you can just go for headshots, and he gets taken out pretty quickly. So he's not that big of a deal, but he does get annoying, and you know, I do find it annoying when Trey puts his boss zombies in like that. But other than that, he's not that bad, and you can camp pretty nicely. Now, the Pack-a-Punch in this map is actually pretty easy, because all you have to do is go to 2 locations where the Pack-a-Punch spawns and teleport those pieces. And then you go to the teleporter and you teleport to the launch test site, and then the Pack-a-Punch is waiting for you there. So it's not that hard at all. Not that hard. So yeah, and they bring back Hellhounds, and Hellhounds are great. They're great boss zombies. They're so easy to deal with, and they give you a max ammo every time. So yeah, so it's great. Now, you know, there really aren't that many bad things about this map. Like, yeah, sure, I would prefer they bring back more World War II weapons and things like that, but at this point, I don't see that happening with any of the maps. You see, the first 2 maps, really, I mean, if you want to count the Giant, you know, pretty much all the maps in BO3 are set in the World War II era. but we have very little World War II guns. Like, they all look like futuristic guns. And that's the biggest problem I have with zombies. Like, I really want them to remake World at War Zombies. Like, if you take a look at the Giant versus Der Riese, the maps are pretty much the same, but aesthetically, they look very different. I mean, just go back to World at War and you'll notice that the colors just look really washed out and bland, and everything's pretty plain. And the reason that is because the game came out in 2008. So yeah, of course there's going to be a big graphical difference. But what they really need to do is remake World at War and add all the stuff they added in, all the innovations, like, you know, double tap 2.0, or just you can pack punch your gun multiple times, or just new perks, new weapons, new this, new that, buildables. Like, there's so much stuff they could add to older maps, and with the older guns, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Because you go back to World at War, and then it's like you don't have half the stuff you have now, and then it's just not nearly as interesting, because all you do is buy perks, buy guns, and then you pack a punch, and that's really it. There's no other buildable stuff, and you just go camp in another area. Now here's the camp spot I just went into. Now you notice that, yeah, I don't go camp there immediately because it's still the early rounds. You don't necessarily need to camp there. I think I get double tap cola before, double tap root beer, because double tap is an essential perk, and it makes it a lot easier to play the game. Really, try surviving without it. Yeah, you're not gonna get very far, especially if you're camping. Because I try to do that, and like I only get to maybe around like the mid-20s on Der Riese, like the original one, without double tap 2.0. I get to maybe around 20 something camping, because you know the zombies are just too powerful. I can't do anything about them. As you all know, Treyarch pays a lot of attention to detail, and they put a lot of attention in the little details on their zombies map. Now, multiplayer is a different story. Multiplayer is pretty much a joke at this point. I don't think anyone's taking it seriously, to be honest. I mean, we're fighting on paintball courses and water parks, cruise ships. Now, it's multiplayer completely gone downhill, but zombies is that one game mode where they put a lot of attention to detail. So supposedly this map's supposed to take place in either late 30s or the early 40s in Nazi Germany. So, you know, the World War II era map. However, they do put a lot of attention to detail, but there's just some historical inaccuracies that, you know, they're minor things, but they just detract from the overall experience, I feel. Especially, you know, being, you know, an OG COD gamer, been playing since World at War. Because World at War actually put painstaking detail into making sure that they were historically accurate. And, you know, zombies, yeah, it does take place in its own universe, but if they claim to take place at a real-life location or somewhere that resembles a real-life location, they should at least, you know, put some effort into making sure that it's somewhat realistic. Now, in this map, some reason they refer to it as the Eagle's Nest, but correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the Eagle's Nest like Hitler's retreat or something in the mountains somewhere? I mean, not like a castle. I thought it was just like a house or something, but not like some Nazi laboratory or something. But and they refer to it as the Eagle's Nest, but I'm not sure why. But okay, they do. You know, I'm pretty sure it was Hitler's retreat, not some random Nazi some Nazi research center somewhere. But okay, that's something minor. But also, I noticed something major in this, and people are going to be wondering, like, oh, why does this matter so much? But it seems like they're censoring everything more nowadays to try to make the game more kid-friendly. Now, if you remember World at War, they had a lot of World War II maps, right? Starting from, well, they're all World War II maps, but in Nazi Germany, like, you got Notre-Dame, you got Verrückt, you got Der Riese, and then you got Kino right after that in Black Ops 1. All those maps, you actually felt like you were in Nazi Germany. You know, there was swastikas everywhere, there was everything everywhere that you would expect to see in Nazi Germany. But here, it seems like they censor a lot, and I'm not saying it's a good symbol, I'm not saying that. But the thing is that when you start censoring stuff, like, where do you stop? Because here in the United States, we have the First Amendment, right? And what the First Amendment is meant for is to protect speech that is controversial, that speech that isn't widely accepted, because, you know, if you can censor one thing, you know, you can censor a lot of things, and then pretty soon you're undermining the First Amendment, and then you don't have a First Amendment anymore. But the thing is, I feel like they're trying to cater more to the kids because the parents probably complained, World at War and Black Ops 1, the parents probably complained and they say, oh, we can't have our kids playing that, like, we can't have our kids seeing that. And then Treyarch, they completely caved in and say, okay, we'll do that and we'll cater to the kids. But Black Ops 1 and World at War didn't do that. And Black Ops 1 and World at War felt like you were actually in, like, the real world. You didn't feel like you were playing some cartoon somewhere. Now here you have the Iron Cross, they have the Iron Cross there, but it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because that was used by the Wehrmacht, but that was like pretty much the German equivalent of the army. That wasn't like that wasn't the government. And if the government, supposedly this is a Nazi research facility, it'd be run by the government, not by the Wehrmacht or anyone else. So that's just a little thing, but then again, it's like they're trying to make it a kids game, and that's the biggest problem I have with that is, I mean, imagine World at War where they started censoring everything. There was no blood, no gore, no nothing, and it just felt like you're playing like some, some kid-friendly like World War II game. Like, it's M-rated for a reason. Like, this game doesn't earn the M rating. I'm sorry here, but it just doesn't. And that's the kind of Call of Duty I want to play, is an M game. That's where most of the fan base was, but then it kind of left. So it's just a minor thing. But yeah, I would like it to feel like you're actually there, not some make-believe place. Because the early Call of Duty maps, it felt pretty somewhat real. I mean, yeah, you can always say, well, zombies are make-believe, and they're not real in the first place. Well, yeah, that's true, but they just gotta make sense. Now, also, some other inaccuracies and stuff, like, on the below the map, like on the test firing ranges and stuff, you can see, like, the rockets there. They look a lot like V2 rockets, and the V2 rocket didn't go to the moon or anything, so I'm not sure. Yeah, they used them to apparently send Dempsey to the moon. But V2 rockets were used, like, pretty much just to bomb the crap out of England. That was really what they used them during the war for, not for space exploration or anything. So yeah, that's just another little inaccuracy. I mean, they're small things, but overall, I think this map is a good map. But then again, I would love the World War II weapons. Right now I'm using the Pharaoh here, but the Pharaoh, it just has no basis in reality. And if you're playing something that takes place in the 40s, I want to use like an MP40, I want to use a Thompson, I want to use a Sten maybe, or Type 100, or PPSH, or MG42. I want to use something like that. And that's what Treyarch needs to bring back, because right now the guns we're using look like Nerf guns, to be honest. A lot of them look like Nerf guns. You look at like something like the Gorgon. The bipod on the front of it looks like it's made of plastic. You look at like the BRM, it just doesn't look like something the military would actually use. And that's the thing. If you want to be realistic, you got to think about like what's the military going to use like 50 years from now. And I can almost guarantee you they're going to be probably using some version of the M4. Probably some variant of the M4 or something like that, or the M16 or just something like that. And see, I almost got down there. See, I got trapped. That was a pretty stupid thing, but I'd love to see that instead of, like the dingo, which I call a dildo because we got a big thing hanging out the bottom, like a big magazine, and of course, so I call that the dingo, the dildo, because it just, I just don't see warfare going in the direction that Treyarch has it going in 50 years. I just don't see that. And, you go back to World War, all the guns are real. All the guns have basis in reality. But unfortunately, Von Har, they probably never even gone to the gun range and fired a gun before, because a lot of the guns just don't make sense in this game. Quite honestly, like, yeah, sure, some of them are fun to use. Like, I'll admit, like, it is fun to rank up weapons and get attachments for them, like, especially fast mags, because that's really useful in zombies. But the weapons themselves are not great. They're not great guns. I don't feel like they're great guns. I mean, imagine if we could get a World War II, like a World War II zombies map, like World at War style, but just add all the new innovations, all the fun things that you've added since 2009. Like, you know, the attachments on your guns. Imagine that. Imagine having an MG42 with like a grip on it, or maybe even an extended mag or something like that. So anyway, I really I like this map. It's fun, but I mean, there's always room for improvement. So yeah, if you guys want to get this map, you don't already have it, I recommend license transferring it because, you know, Vonderhaar and Treyarch Studios lied about the cosmetic items in supply drops and stuff. So I mean, these guys don't deserve your money. But if you can get it from a friend by license transferring, definitely do so. I think you'll like the map too. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This has been World of War, and see you guys later.